Hey folks, how we doing this morning? Jerry here with another edition right here of my Greek interpretations and a talk about the big corporation that we have in America today. Now, just want you guys to know right off the bat, I'm one step closer to getting the devices that I need, and then we're going to be just like Enter the Stars and all these other people that's got some pretty good things that we can do for you guys. And I'm looking forward to it. It'll be maybe a little bit over a week, not any more than that. And that's going to be how that I do things, folks. I've decided that all along. It's all in service to God. But anyway, I'm going to talk to you today about the corporation. The corporation in America has turned into something that it's not at all beneficial to the people, if you ask me, as a whole. Now, I'm not an anti-business person, and I'm not an anti-progressive person in terms of getting things done, even though the word progressive has been greatly manipulated and abused here lately. The people who call themselves progressives are actually heading the other direction, if you know what I'm saying. So don't at all take that the wrong way. But anyway, I actually used to own a business, and I did for 7 years. I had some big skag turf tigers, and I had 7 employees, and we run a mowing and landscaping business. And I was pretty successful at it until the coal industry in the Blue Ridge Mountains was hit, and all the equipment companies and everything else that I was mowing for all of a sudden either shut down or they had employees mowing for them, and it kind of ruined me. That happened in the Obama days. He was just so wonderful, wasn't he? God. Obama. Yeah. Once you go ahead and add nation on the end of that one, Obama nation, yeah. But anyway, corporations were originally chartered back in the 1800s. By the government, and they had a lot of limitations to them. You couldn't, you were limited. You could only own one corporation, and you couldn't own several. It was very limited, and it was originally made. The whole ideology of it was that it would serve the public good. Like you used to serve the public good. And boy, how that's been changed now. Because these big corporations could actually care less if you even do business with them or not when you walk in now. They just don't care. Now, when this happened, and the 14th Amendment came along, all of a sudden, these very clever corporations that had been going, they got these lawyers together, and all of a sudden they started convincing the court and the judges that they were actually a person or a public entity, just like a person walking around. So the corporation, basically, folks, was your first, in my opinion, the corporation became your first artificial intelligence, really. It became the first AI robot, folks. That was the whole start of what would you say, the artificial man, the straw man? Yeah, the artificial man or the straw man is the very first artificial person or synthetic person that existed. It became to the point where they could buy property off people. It became to the point where they could sue. They could buy or sell, and they could sell stock. And yet it was never a real person, folks, that ever had a soul, the corporation. It was never a person that had a body that could be incarcerated in jail. And actually, back in the late 1800s, there was 317 suits that was put together for property. And out of that, out of the 14th Amendment, which was designed originally to keep it was designed to save people's properties, to keep big businesses from grabbing them to begin with when a business was a business. But these clever lawyers that managed to get a corporation actually looking like a real human being on this 14th Amendment, out of the lawsuits that they had in the late 1800s into the early 1900s during the Industrial Revolution, actually 288 out of the 317 were big corporations that had started, and we got a little glitch on the table here. There's a little knot here that caused me to mess up. 288 out of 317 of them were actually corporations that filed suits under the 14th Amendment when it was originally designed, folks, to save average people's property. So it quickly turned into something bad. And if you ask me, it's continuing to turn into things bad, because what's happening is now corporations are doing this. They're becoming an agenda. It's turning into an agenda is what it's turning into. Well, it's not turning into it. It already has manifested itself fully into an agenda. And actually the corporation, folks, is going to be what brings this whole thing of the Great Tribulation period on. The corporation is going to be what brings the downfall of mankind on. It's actually turned into that. 600,000 people were killed out of this 288 right here because a big corporation said they needed somebody's property. So they just went in and killed them, and that was it, and said, well, this was for the benefit of the public. This was for the benefit of the good. That's what's going to end up happening to the Christians here in the end, folks. These noble, envisionist, competitive, honest, and innovative people that say that they serve mankind, that they have the what would you say, even when it comes down to the humanitarian organizations that they support, like the Red Cross or the Rothschilds and stuff, it's all going to be humanitarian. We are killing these Christians for a humanitarian purpose, folks. They don't need to be around anymore. They're not part of our agenda. They're not part of the new society that we have going. The new society to come right here to benefit mankind under God, which really they're going to mean the God of this earth is what they're going to mean, folks. Greek for the corporation. I'm going to show you something interesting about the corporation and its interpretation in Greek. Well, core means a heart, like the heart of a person. You know, and the eye is the goes into the heart and soul of a person. You know, so the heart is literally a person. It's a human being. Poor. Now I'm going to give you a core definition of poor to this point, but then I'm going to change it here and I'm going to show you another definition of it. Moving forward in the place of. So it can be moving forward in the place of, in place of. And already we see if that's moving forward in the place of, and a heart is a heart and soul of a person manifested. Moving forward in the place of by poor already begins to show you the artificial straw man that you have taking place in a corporation. A can either mean the alpha or it can mean big or pregnant. or about ready to give birth to. Big or pregnant, or to give birth. To give birth. So, if it's taken the place of the heart of a person and moving forward in the place of, it's manifesting it's an impregnation to give birth. Now, a shun would be the result of. So it would take the heart and soul of a person, or the heart, which is the core of life for people, moving forward in the place of, to give birth to the result of, or an ending result. So already you can see that has a deeper meaning. The heart and soul of a person moving forward in the place of, in other words, it replaced that person, and it give pregnant to an ending result because of that. Well, that doesn't sound good, folks. That sounds like something that started out as a good thing and ended as a bad thing, didn't it? Now, I'm going to show you another meaning here that really is going to shake your world up. This poor can also mean an old term that's used in ancient Greek right there called the porphyrion. Porphyrion. And that porphyrion means an outward holy thing that is turned into the mark of the beast. It's an outward holy thing. In other words, it looked like a good thing. It looked like it was going to be a good thing. It looked like it was going to be this whole thing like noble and envisionist and a competitive and an honest thing, and it for the benefit of the people. Outward, it was the holy thing that literally turned into the mark of the beast. What about that, guys? When it comes down to this term, one of the things that really comes to mind for me more than anything on that is the whole Walmart thing. About Walmart being the concentration camps. And the concentration camps turning into just that. Literally what is happening is, folks, this whole Walmart thing is turning into the Great Tribulation period is what it's turning into. And I want to tell you something, guys. If you think that's all a conspiracy, you obviously haven't been down in Florida. Florida is the breeding ground for everything that the mark of the beast is doing right now from southern to middle Florida. And the bad thing about it is most people down there don't even realize it. I actually asked some people in Umatilla, are you not hearing what is going on here in the middle of the night? And they said, well, there's some secret operations that goes on here by the government. They've got a government facility here that does that. Yeah, so that's telling me a whole lot. Umatilla, Florida, and the secret operations. Yeah, well, it's a breeding ground for a lot of secret future operations. Yeah, it's a breeding ground, all right, a breeding ground for the mark of the beast, and it's a breeding ground for the sound of the beast. And if you don't believe me, you go there in the middle of the nighttime, which I don't advise you to do it, and you'll hear it for yourself. It's not a secret, folks. I promise you, I am telling you the truth about that. And if you don't believe me, go get you a hotel room somewhere within hearing distance and go outside of the nighttime and listen. No, that's not stuff being scooted around or this or that or the other. It is literally, they are experimenting down there with sound frequencies on how to completely control everything around them. And it's working too. And I saw it manifest for myself down there. God has showed me a great deal many things, folks. Another thing too, I had some pictures of some of the experiences that I had down there when I was running. And I lost my device and couldn't get back into my email. Well, we have retrieved some of that. And I've retrieved some of the pictures even. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures of literally witches manifesting things that they were trying to sacrifice myself down there. And I have pictures. I managed to retrieve some of the pictures, guys. I'm going to show them to you. But Walmart, getting back to that. We remember what Walmart is. Wall is a common person, and Mart is what? In my concentration camp video of the Walmart. To bring together a group of people for the purposes of bringing accusations against Jesus Christ. Go see my Walmart concentration camp video. Incidentally, too, to end this video, they came up with a limited liability company. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that. Actually, my CPA had advised me to do this, to file under a limited liability company. And you know what that does? The big people that owns these corporations, it makes them completely free of any legal liability. And forces you to sue the straw man or the artificial man. And when you sue the artificial man, if it gets bad enough for these big people, they just destroy the artificial man and go reorganize under another artificial man. Pretty bad, isn't it? A corporation has turned into, folks, an agenda. Beacon Roofing, that I used to work for, was a really huge corporation owned by some of these philanthropists. And I did a video on my other Jerry McFadden channel that has the big logo on it. And Beacon essentially means this, to just put it in short: the thief that entereth into the mansion through constructive building. Well, that doesn't sound good, folks. The thief that entereth into the mansion through constructive building. And that's what they do. They have building material and so forth. And they're the second largest in the world. So these world controllers, folks, these people that meet in the Bilderberg, the people that don't have that illuminated name attached to them anymore because they don't want to be found out for being as such, that meets at the Bilderberg, now they're just philanthropists to benefit humanity is what they are. Yeah. Well, we see how they're benefiting humanity, all right. They're not benefiting anything but themselves, and they're destroying humanity in the process, folks. Thank you for watching my video. I'm going to have much better things ahead.